My husband's rich family demanded that I sign a prenuptial agreement, and he cheated. Now he's begging to reconcile because I'm leaving him penniless. I found out that my husband of 20 plus years was having an affair. This completely hurt me, and I have started divorce proceedings. This has been hard for our 4 children, but I cannot spend the rest of my life with someone I can't trust. Before we married, my husband's family had money and demanded prenuptial agreement. I had no problem with it, but since then, the family's money has been lost due to bad investments and lawsuits. My husband was a SOM for the majority of our marriage. Our youngest child is 19, and because of the prenup, he can't get alimony. In short, my husband will be screwed. The only thing we own together is our house. And while it is paid off, my husband won't be able to afford the upkeep or HOA fees, so he will effectively be homeless. I do not intend to give him any support for any reason. Since serving my husband's divorce papers, I have refused direct contact as my lawyer has advised, but he's now playing dirty by getting the children involved. We have 2 boys and 2 girls, and my husband has been pleading with them to get me to agree to halt the divorce proceedings in favor of counseling. After I told my children that I had no interest in wasting any more of my life with that man, they have all essentially backed off except for my oldest, Christy. She's very close to her father and can't imagine a life where her parents aren't married. Christy tells me that her father realizes her mistake and will do whatever it takes to make things right. She says I owed it to the family to work things out. I refused and told her it wasn't her place to make those demands. Since then, the only time Christy talks to me is when she's sobbing and asking me not to destroy the family. I understand that this is hard for her and offer to pay for therapy so she can cope, but she said there wouldn't. However, my other children say Christy's behavior is worsening. Update. I have a scheduled sit-down with her to explain that what goes on between her father and me is not her fault and that I can't ever go back to a man who deceived me in such a big way. I told her that I try to be as forgiving and empathetic as possible, but will never tolerate people who lie with malicious and selfish intent and try to cut them out of my personal life as much as possible. I was very calm when I said this and tried to be as loving as possible to my child, but it didn't work. Christy ended up breaking down and again tried to get me to convince me not to divorce her father and just forgive her. I refused and, in the end, went and see with Christy for a little bit. I only spoke to her again 2 days before my other daughter's, Jane, birthday through a text asking her not to bring up the divorce since this was going to be the first time my wife and I would be in each other's presence since I filed. I sent the same text to her father and didn't hear anything from either of them. Things were a little tense and awkward on Jane's birthday, but I thought it was going well. Until my husband decided to be passive-aggressive and spoke about how good it is to have a family together during important events. Everyone saw through his crap, and my son, Jack, called him out on it and said that he was selfish to bring this up on Jane's birthday. Christy started defending her father, and Jane, understandably upset, revealed that the only reason Christy was on their father's side for reconciliation was because she didn't want the fact that she not only knew about the affair, but helped her father cover it up. There was a big fight that wouldn't get resolved right then and there. I ended up leaving and was even more heartbroken all over again. Not only did my husband betray me, but my daughter too. I knew she was closer to her father than me, and I was okay with that. But this, I don't know what I did to make my eldest daughter so disloyal to me, but I am now resolved to go full and see with her until after the divorce and possibly for the rest of my life.